Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Youth Unplugged. Today we have a very interesting topic for you guys. It is the advantages and the disadvantages of social media.
All right, thank you, Tofumi. Yes, we have this topic that I must confess, social media. Well, I'm not that old. I'm still young, all right. But it's way out of my league. I'm just trying to get a hang of it. I cannot imagine that maybe 30, 40 years ago, at that time I was a teenager, there was nothing like all of this, maybe even 15, 20 years ago. Do you know that my daughter cannot watch certain films with me? She will just say, no, it's too old. Or she cannot even imagine there was a time that all there is on TV was black and white. Okay, there was a time, and there was also a time where we didn't have cable network. There was nothing like that. It was just one TV station, then it became two TV stations, and so on and so forth. So, then we now have the social media platform. But it has gone way out of description, if I may say that. All kinds of things are happening to it. Are there advantages to it? Are there disadvantages? We want to discuss that, especially for the youth. What are the advantages? What are the things you are benefiting from social media? What are the things that you can understand as disadvantages? So for me, tell us about social media.
Honestly, social media is a platform that millions of people can use to access different things. Nowadays, it's very accessible to get what you want, so people just use that to either communicate or to share different stuff with others.
All right, so it's accessible for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
As good as that may sound, that also could be a disadvantage, don't you think?
Yeah. If you don't know what you're going to social media for, then you can lead it into a place that's not actually going to benefit you in any ways. And obviously, it's not always something that has to be beneficial. It can also be entertainment. But as a Christian, if you're not going to sites that that's not going to benefit your Christianity and benefit your relationship with God, like, why would you want to be there in the first place? So that's what I think about social media.
Okay, you said something now. Know what you are there for. In other words, does it mean before I go into social media, I already have an idea of what I want?
Yeah.
I can't just stumble on it, and could it be that could be a recipe for trouble if I'm just, like, what do they call it, surfing, or just checking and looking at different things? How do I manage my social media search or curiosity?
Social media is actually really good in terms of if you keep searching a specific thing, it will come up with that. So if you're searching something that's bad for you, that will continuously come up. But if you're searching something that's good for you, it will continuously come up. Or even the same with entertainment. As I said before, it doesn't always have to be beneficial. It can be just pure entertainment. But you have to know the balance between entertainment and worldly.
What happens? What about those bad stuff? How do I avoid them? You just said it's accessible, all kinds of things. I understand. In fact, someone was saying if you want to make a bomb, you can get it on social. There's absolutely nothing you want or you think about that you cannot get on the internet.
Yeah.
By social media, we're also talking about the internet generally. Okay, so there's nothing you want that you cannot get. So there are those who got what they got, the values they got from the social media. How do you guide yourself in a way that you don't allow the negative influence of the social media to impact on one's life as a youth? How can they? Because some of them have these and then they find it difficult to control.
Yeah. The thing about social media is it's very generic and general. So it will go off a worldly values-based thing. But as a Christian, you should know the balance between where to get specific stuff from, and you should always let the scriptures guide you. If you know that something goes completely of the scriptures and you don't even need to talk to God about it, then don't even go there in the first place. But if you're just thinking, well, it's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily good, then you can either consult, like, for example, I would consult my dad or my siblings because, you know, of their relationship with God, or I can just pray to God about it. So yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the advantages. Let's look at it. How does it benefit? Why can't I do totally? I'm off it. You know, one of the things that struck me about this social media discussion is what Tomisin, by the way, Tomisin is my first child, my son. What Tomisin said to me one time, and that stuck with me. He says that social media has done more harm than good.